When you picture the financial markets, you probably imagine a scene like this: crowded, loud, and frantic. It is easy to blame a loss on this external chaos, but a shift in the market is rarely what destroys a trading edge. The real threat is internal emotional sabotage. An otherwise disciplined trader can execute flawlessly for weeks, only to wipe out their gains in a single afternoon of impulsive decisions. Clinical psychologist and trading coach Dr. Steenbarger identified exactly why this happens. His thesis is straightforward. Before you investigate the market, you have to investigate yourself. To do that, we are going to construct a personalized 5-step psychological trading log to track your emotional responses as hard data points. To implement this system, you need 3 things: an active trading account, a blank spreadsheet, and the willingness to look at your most recent failures with total honesty. Unpredictable market volatility is a guarantee. Building a strict, process-driven psychological system is how you build a reliable defense against it. We start by addressing how you view your work. Most people treat trading as one giant, continuous stress event. When you look at it that way, a single mistake feels like a total failure of your abilities. Step 1 of this system is taking that overwhelming, monolithic anxiety and completely breaking it apart into smaller, isolated, and easily manageable processes. Steenbarger divides a trader's job into 7 distinct core activities. We start with researching market information, generating trade ideas, and structuring trades with clear risk-reward parameters. Next comes managing open positions and overseeing portfolio diversification. Finally, we have self-management and performance review. By compartmentalizing the job, you isolate your points of failure. If a trade goes wrong, you aren't failing at trading. You might just have a flaw in your idea generation or your position management. You can fix a specific flaw. You cannot fix general anxiety. Step 2 is where we begin gathering real-time observations using your psychological trade log. Open your spreadsheet. The first 2 columns you need to track are the result of the trade and the specific reason you had for entering it. Next, log your anticipated profit and your exact stop loss. Finally, create a column for your mental and emotional state during the trade. This is the core of the Steenbarger system. There is a trap here. You must enter this data while you are trading. If you wait until the end of the day, your memory will rewrite your emotional reality to justify your results. If you felt anxious before clicking buy, log the anxiety right then. Once you have a sufficient sample size of trades, we move to step 3, reviewing the log to find correlations. Look directly at your most painful, outsized losses and check the emotional state column. Then do the exact opposite. Filter your spreadsheet for your most profitable, well-executed trades and look at the emotional precursors that made them possible. You will start to see clear patterns. Your data might show that frustration consistently correlates with impulsive, revenge trading behavior. Conversely, whenever you note a feeling of calm focus, you strictly adhere to your stop losses and hit profit targets. You have now taken the invisible forces of emotional sabotage and turned them into quantifiable data points. Once it is data, you can systematically eliminate the negative inputs and scale the positive ones. That brings us to step 4. Converting those positive data points into a mandatory pre-trade routine. If your log shows that taking 10 minutes to review daily market drivers consistently puts you in a state of calm focus, that action becomes a non-negotiable item on your daily checklist. You do not trade until it is checked off. To maintain that calm focus inside the market, you also have to cultivate healthy habits outside of it. Stress from your personal life will inevitably bleed into your trading terminal. Practices like daily mindfulness or self-hypnosis act as a buffer, training your brain to quickly return to a baseline of focus when mid-trade turbulence hits. Relying on sheer motivation to stay disciplined always fails eventually. Embedding these psychological triggers into a mechanical, written checklist guarantees you execute your process, regardless of how you feel. But checking boxes isn't enough to survive long-term. Traders often fall into the trap of functional fixedness. They build an identity around a specific trading style and stubbornly stick to it even when the market environment shifts. Surviving in the financial markets operates on the same biological law as evolutionary adaptation. It is not the strongest who survive, but the most adaptable. This is step 5, the ABCD loop. It is a framework for continuous improvement that ensures you adapt before your profitability disappears. A stands for adapting to changing markets. B stands for building on established strengths. C is cultivating creativity to find new edges. And D is developing best practices over time. Comfort is always the enemy of adaptation. A trader's ultimate edge lies in their speed of moving through this ABCD loop to rebuild their process whenever the market demands it. If you followed these steps, you now have a personalized, real-time tracking system that diagnoses your emotional failures and scales your psychological strengths. To verify your system is ready, Dr. Steenbarger created a 7-question readiness for change self-assessment. We've linked it in the video description below. Before you place your next live trade, sit down and answer all 7 of those questions with brutal honesty. Evaluate where your specific opportunities and threats lie. You simply cannot control the financial markets. Mastering them is impossible without first engineering the mastery of your own psychology.